What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of TheLead Houston, where it's all Houston all the time. Today, we will be reacting to Matt Miller. Yes, Matt Miller, the NFL draft scout for ESPN. Recently got a brand new contract for them. Shout out to Matt Miller for getting the bag. But regardless, we are going to be reacting to a full 7-round mock draft. I believe this is the first kind of mock draft, a full 7-round one from any sort of ESPN scout, analyst, expert, draft guy, whatever. But this is the first one that I've realized that is coming out of ESPN. This includes Mel Kiper, Jordan Reed, who else? Whoever else does it. We saw Mike Tannenbaum do one. But Matt Miller also does them, and this is a 7-round one. So we get to react. We get to see who does he see the Houston Texans getting, and again, all 7 rounds. Remember, this is an ESPN Plus exclusive content, and I am your key in order to unlock that content. So anybody that is interested, definitely come ahead and get it going. You know what to do. You like the content, subscribe down below. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. We're very close to 13K. So while you're at it, guys, do me a favor. It's free 99. Go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit a damn like on the down there and get it going. Drop a comment. You agree, disagree with Matt Miller? We're going to go ahead and get to it because this is going to be a rather long video. So without further ado, Matt Miller is here. We got a March 27th is when he posted this. So, he just posted this yesterday morning, 5:45. And he's going to give his 257 picks for the NFL draft. And obviously, this is a Houston Texans state of mind. We'll peek every once in a while to the AFC South, but ultimately we're focusing on our Houston Texans. Swarm, baby, swarm. Let's get into it, man. Let's go ahead. Round 1, you got Titans taking Cam Ward there. Dual Carter going to the Cleveland Browns here. You got Shedeur Sanders still going to the Giants, even though they got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Jaguars still beefing up that defensive line. Every one of them says Mason Graham is going to the Jaguars. That defensive line with him, Josh Allen Hines, and Trayvon Walker is pretty scary right there for the Houston Texans right there. But hey, you got a whole lot to get into. The Colts are going to be up next, and they do not take Tyler Warren, but they do take Colston Loveland. So they miss out on Tyler Warren. They do get Colston Loveland, very solid tight end, somebody that could be on the Houston Texans radar, hopefully, but not in this mock draft. Let's keep it going. Eamon Warry's gone. Matthew Golden is gone. Malachi Starks, Luther Burden, and a lot of guys that I would want for the Houston Texans. Kelvin Banks is gone. Hairston from Kentucky. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Number 25, the Houston Texans are selecting Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. We're going to read the brief description here. The Houston Texans have undergone a massive turnover on a struggling O-line with LT, Kenyon Green, Shaq departing, Cam Robinson, Lincoln Tomlinson, Ed Ingram arriving at Trent Brown. I expect the Texans to look for a young foundational player up front, and Simmons could be that. Before suffering a torn left patellar tendon in his right knee in mid-October, Simmons looked like a prime contender to be offensive tackle 1 in this class. He has experience above tackle spots with the size and length teams are looking for in a blindside blocker. Simmons moves with poise and balance, almost like a basketball player. His ceiling is very high, and he could be a rare franchise tackle available late in the first round. I do say this. I don't necessarily mind this pick. The only problem is we don't know if Josh Simmons is going to be ready to play football day 1. Like, if football started tomorrow, is he going to be able to play? That answer would be no. Now, we did see him in the pro day, and he looked absolutely fantastic at his pro day. And that is only 5 months after his torn left patellar tendon. So after 5 months and he's moving like that, as big as he is, that's pretty freakish, and Josh Simmons would be considered the best left tackle in the NFL draft. He is very crazy athletic, and you saw a lot of that at his pro day, and he was moving just fine. Again, only 5 months since that torn left patellar tendon, but you are taking a risk here considering that injury can be costly for his overall career. So I understand a lot of the fans' sentiments in the comments section when I did draft him a few mock drafts ago, and a lot of y'all were had a lot of distaste in that mock draft because I did pick Josh Simmons there at 25. But it is what it is. That's who I thought would be best fit for the Texans, and Matt Miller apparently agrees here at number 25. We're going to keep it moving now and get to the second round here. He's got the Tennessee Titans taking Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker does not go to the Texans, as well as Emeka Egbuka, too. Here goes my guy Mason Taylor. Travion Henderson's also there. Josh Connerly Jr., somebody the Houston Texans had taken a look at. There goes Walter Nolan as well. Caleb Johnson was someone the Texans met with at the NFL Combine. Donovan Jackson would be a really solid player here if he was available. At 58 is what we're looking for here. We're missing out on Tate Ratledge as well as Quinshon Judkins. There's a lot of good players that are coming off the board. I'm pretty curious as to what Matt Miller had here. Marcus Mbao, the guard from Purdue. Now, look, obviously he is now double dipping into the offensive line department for the Houston Texans, and God knows we need as much youth and talent as possible. Let's go ahead and read what he's got to say. We're not finished overhauling Houston's O-line. Mbao played both guard and tackle in college, but projects at guard in the pros, where he has the athletic tools to be an impressive player in his zone blocking scheme. And Mbao has quickness and takes smart angles. He's in need of added play power, but the Texans can afford to redshirt the 6'4", 303-pounder behind Lincoln Tomlinson and Ed Ingram in 2025. This is a pick more for the future, and Mbao could eventually start at left or right guard. My only problem so far in this draft is if he's saying Mbao is not NFL ready immediately, you also know that Josh Simmons could be questionable in terms of his readiness for week 1 or some point during the season as well. And now you have drafted two guys that have question marks around their certainty of whether or not they can actually have some snaps at the starter level for you in the 2025 to 26 season. I like Marcus Mbao. He's extremely athletic, and I do like him at guard. I really do think that he could end up beating out Ed Ingram and Lincoln Tomlinson. It's not like those two guys are world beaters, but it is going to be a little bit of a struggle and a small project for the Texans to improve Marcus Mbao. He does say that he works well in his own blocking scheme. We don't know entirely sure what Nick Caley is going to be running. We know it's going to be some variation of that. We also know that it won't be just a zone blocking scheme, and that we could be incorporating some more of a gap scheme into it, where that was very much more favorable for the Texans offense, especially their running game, and especially favorable for the O-line. So not a bad pick, but again, if you're getting another project player at 58, then you kind of get two guys that are kind of both waiting on, the clock is ticking, and the Texans are more in win now mode. And so far, I don't mind this draft, but I don't know so far. It don't look too hot for me. Let's keep it going, though. We got a third round coming up for the Houston Texans. Now they pick at, I believe it was 79 and then 89. So remember, we got a few picks inside, 4 picks inside the top 100. Jack Beck is off the board. Isaiah Bond is off the board. In 79, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. One of my other favorite tight ends in this draft, if anybody did miss it, I did a live stream video real late with Houston Stressens. I mentioned that I like Mason Taylor. He mentioned that he liked Terrence Ferguson, and that is the pick right here for Matt Miller. Tight end Dalton Schultz saw his production drop in 2024, so the Texans could make a move for the pass-catching Ferguson, who is ready to play right now. To me, so far, this is the best pick in the draft, even just because you don't know the overall projection of the first two guys and how ready they would be NFL-wise to start for a team. So Terrence Ferguson really good athletic tight end, super good hands, and somebody that is NFL ready. And now you have the question marks surrounding Dalton Schultz and his future with the Houston Texans. We got to go back to Aaron Wilson. Talked about the Texans looking to get younger at the tight end position. He mentioned Brevin Jordan. He mentioned Cade Stover as two guys that they like and move forward with, but he did not mention Dalton Schultz. And again, this would not shock me if the Houston Texans say, hey, let's go ahead and get another tight end and try to improve in that department more than the wide receiver. We haven't attacked that so far. In the draft, this is okay draft so far. I think Terrence Ferguson, is probably the best pick in my opinion because he is NFL ready to get going right away. And with Nick Caley being a former tight ends coach, you know he's going to have his hands all over him. Pause. What? Let's get it going. Steelers get Jalen Milroe. Shout out to him. Shamar Turner, my boy, goes to the Denver Broncos. Jack Sawyer, bad dude out of Ohio State. There goes Miles Frazier. Texans are at 89, so let's go ahead and take a look. He's got him taking a defensive tackle in TJ Saunders. I really, really like this pick. Let's go ahead and take a quick read. Putting a fast pass rush in 3-tech like Saunders next to Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter would be a fun way to attack AFC offenses. Not just to attack AFC offenses. This is a fun way for DeMeco Ryans to improvise his schemes a little bit more because TJ Saunders is that tweener that can be really good against the run, really good against the pass. And again, very good in between just Will Anderson, but as well as Sheldon Rankins, as well as Daniel Hunter. The only problem with TJ Saunders, he could be a little bit better against the run. It doesn't necessarily solve that issue for the Houston Texans, but you're talking about a guy that can, hey, he plays DT, and we all know the Houston Texans have improved defensive tackles every which way. It doesn't matter what name it is, Kurt Hinish, Tommy Toho, what? You know, like it doesn't matter who it is. The Texans continue to improve these guys. Let's keep it going. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. The Houston Texans don't have a round 4 pick, but they do have one in round 5. So as y'all see, after 89, you go all the way to 166. Yeah, 166 for the Houston Texans. You see it right here. It's DJ Giddens, running back out of Kansas State. DJ Giddens is a really good receiver, running back kind of guy. I had him in one of my mock drafts. I picked him over Cam Scatterbo. And I mean, the running back draft class is extremely deep. DJ Giddens is about 6 feet 212. He fits really good as that secondary running back that you want next to a Joe Mixon, more of a lightning and thunder kind of type of running back for him. And I think he fits this scheme perfectly. And you can also use him similar to that James White role that I've mentioned for Trevor Etienne. You can do that again, but with DJ Giddens, he's got good enough hands to do that. Solid route running out of running back, and he did it all at Kansas State. So I expect the Texans to use him in the best way possible there. I think that's a very solid pick for the Texans right there. And then now, I don't believe they have a pick in round 6. They have 2 picks, though, in round 7, which would be where the Houston Texans take Jamari Harris, cornerback out of Iowa. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I have no fucking clue who Jamari Harris is. What? I am completely honest. I have no freaking clue. I have never heard of the name until right now, but I have heard of the name LaQuint Allen as the running back out of Syracuse for the Houston Texans here at 241. And I will talk about him because he had a lot of work to do at Syracuse. He was working in a high-powered offense. The stats are very much over. There's a lot put into the stats there because that offense was just all systems go. And this makes a lot of sense because the Houston Texans did interview Jeff Nixon to be the offensive coordinator for the Texans. It would not shock me if they did draft this guy in the 7th round. Really good special teamer as well, too. Someone else that Frank Ross is going to love. LaQuint Allen could be somebody that could replace Dare Mbugawale maybe one day, but very solid draft pick. I think somebody that could, who knows, just a special teams guy. Who knows if he even makes the roster. But it is what it is right there. Those are the picks for the Houston Texans right there. So again, you had your We're gonna have to go ahead and stop this. We had in our first round pick, we had was it again? Josh Simmons was the offensive tackle in the first round there. We had Josh Simmons 58. We had, if I can remember real quick, Marcus Mbow, the guard from Purdue. So you double dipped in offensive lineman. You grabbed yourself a defensive tackle. You grabbed yourself two running backs as well. It's a very deep running back draft class here. You got a cornerback late who I had no clue who he was. And then the Houston Texans got themselves an NFL ready tight end. So overall, those are the picks for the Houston Texans. Let me know, what do you agree, disagree with these picks? How do you grade the draft class for Matt Miller? Just first glance, I'm kind of looking at it like a B minus, maybe a C. I could probably go down that far. I like Terrence Ferguson and I like DJ Giddens. I really like those two guys. I'm a big fan of TJ Saunders as well. So it could be a B minus, but the overall future for Marcus Mbow and Josh Simmons is still a little bit fluctuated for me. And I'm just not quite sure if the Houston Texans are ready to have those guys be NFL day one starters. I'm not afraid of it. And I love the competition. We all know the Texans are creating some big time competition in the offensive line room, but it is going to be tough for Josh Simmons to start day one in the NFL, and we don't know if Marcus Mbow is ultimately ready. He could beat out Lincoln Tomlinson. He could beat out Ed Ingram. Maybe not Titus Howard. Maybe he locks down the right guard spot. Who knows? But the Houston Texans do get a whole lot better getting those two guys for the offensive line. And at the end of the day, it seems like let's keep CJ Stroud upright. That seems like the conclusion for Matt Miller here in this NFL draft. Again, let me know down in the comment section whether you all agree, disagree, drop a draft letter grade for him down in the comments. You know I'll reply. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day.